Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to learn how to 3D print our puzzle cube pieces that we designed in Autodesk Inventor. So let's say this is one of your puzzle pieces right here. First thing you want to do is go ahead and file. We're going to go to export now, CAD format, and let's just save it to the desktop so we can drag and drop it. So we're going to go to desktop. I call this part 4 and make sure here it says STL file. Okay. And we're going to desktop. All right, and let's go ahead and hit save. All right. Now, what we got to do now is down here in your search bar, just go ahead and type in Cura, and we want Cura version 15. Okay, so just hit no if that pops up. All right. Oops, it's taking a while. So what I want you to do now is come on down over here. If this pops up, you need to go to add new machine. Okay, select next. And over here, you need to select printer bot. Okay, and select next. And the printers we use is one of these. So what you need to do is to ask your instructor which printer is available to print. And I'll just say, hey, select the Play or select the Metal Plus or the Simple Metal. Okay. Most likely it's going to be the Play or the Simple. So let's go ahead with the Play here and we'll go to next and finished. Okay. And here we go. So it's kind of a small build volume, but that's okay. So what we need to do now is to go ahead and let's minimize our files, our screens here. And remember we saved the STL file to our desktop. So we're going to drag it onto here. Okay, and you notice you're like, wow, that's really small. And that's okay, because click on it, and we're going to change the scale of it from 1 to 10. And now it will be the correct scale. Okay, and I'm also now going to click on it. Now you notice you can do different things here. You can rotate it, scale it, mirror it, but for now we just want to move it. So you can grab your mouse and move it, okay? Now notice when it turns gray, that means it's off week, and that's not good, okay? So I did this for one part. You need to do this for all the parts. But before you do that, let's come back to Inventor here. Let's say you have a part that looks like this. It's kind of got this C shape here, okay? This is important because when you go to 3D print your puzzle cubes, they're not going to fit correctly. In other words, you're going to have a hard time getting your pieces to interlock here. When you go to put another puzzle cube part in here, it won't fit. So we got to widen this gap just a little bit. So what we can do is come back into our sketch, edit our sketch, okay? Let's delete that constraint and delete that constraint. And we're going to make this gap a little bit bigger, and we're going to go with 0.8. Okay. Now that's good because we still have an overall dimension here of 2.25, which is the right size. Okay. So if you did it right, you'll have a wider gap and you'll still have the same size that you had before. Now you can come over here, okay, and add your constraints. And let's just see what this one is just real quick to see if it, so it shortened this one by 0.7 by 0.5. So let's do this. Let's come over here, make that 0.725. And make this one, hopefully it's 0.725 already, and it is. So we're good. Now it's perfectly in the center here. Okay, so you should have an overall length here of 2.25, and each side here should be 0.725 inches here. Okay, now hit escape. Now that's perfect. Now our parts will fit in here perfectly. So now that it's wider, you can go ahead and do the file, export as CAD. We'll call this part 2 STL, but we want to save it to the desktop here. And save. Hit minimize this. Okay. And we're going to come find part 2 here. Where's part 2? There's part 4. We already have that one on here. There's part 2 right here. So same thing. Now this is important. So listen, this is a good example. When you print this one, we got to remember to scale it first so that it's the right size. All right, but we need to rotate this. Okay, we need all our puzzle cube parts on here. So click on the part and come over here to rotate. Now let's rotate it up. Okay, now let's shuffle things around so that all these fit on here. Okay, so I'm going to rotate this one actually, because remember, I'm trying to get this to fit as best I can. And when it's yellow, we're good. Okay. Now, if you can't get all the puzzle cubes on here, that's okay. We'll do 2 prints. All right. The other printers have a bigger volume to print on. So, anyways, before you do, once you have all your puzzle cube pieces on here, or as many as you could fit, what you're going to do now is come over here, click on the machine, go to machine settings. Okay, I want you to click here, heated bed, because all of our machines have a heated bed and it'll help your cubes print better. So hit OK. Now, for layer height, we want these to print kind of quick. So layer height is just like it sounds. Each layer it adds, in this case, would be 0.1, but we don't want it to be 0.1 because that'll take a really long time. So we want it to be 0.3 in this case. Okay. And shell thickness, let's just go with 1.2. Gives you, that's your wall essentially. That's the wall, the thickness of the walls. Okay. Leave that checked. Bottom top thickness, we'll go the same thickness as the wall thickness. And the fill density, 20% is fine. That tells you the density. So if you made it 100, it would be completely solid. But with 20%, it'll leave it kind of hollow. And then the print speed, 40 is good. 208 for the temperature is good. The bed temperature should be there. 70 is good. Actually, let's change it to 60. Bed temperature, go for 60. Support type, none. And I'll tell you why. Let's come back to this piece. If I rotate it, okay, that's not going to print right. Why? Because there's overhang here. And we could print it like that, but we would need to add support. So we would say everywhere. But don't do that. Make sure your parts have no pieces that are overhanging here. So let's flip that back over. Okay. Then let's see here. We have our filament diameter, 1.75. That looks good. The flow percent is 100%, and our nozzle size is 0.4. So we're good there. Platform adhesion, don't worry about these for now at least. When we print our rockets, we might use a raft. Okay, so this looks good. Okay, but like I said, yours should have all your parts on here, or at least as many as you can fit, and they should be placed in a way that maximizes the efficiency in the space so you can get as many on here. So like I said, make this one rotate. It shouldn't be on its side. We want it up, right? And then no overhangs. We don't want parts overhanging. We want them flat with no overhangs, okay? When you have all that and all of these settings are good, what you need to do now is go to File, Save G-Code, and what you need to do is go to the public drive here, go to RHS, okay, scroll down to PLTW, PLTW Engineering, and if you're period 1, 2, or 3, or 4, click on that folder. So let's just go with period 1 for example, and then save it as, just save it with your name, you know, Bob Cube Parts. Okay, make sure that says G code there. All right, and then just hit save. I will have access to this file. I will put it on a thumb drive and I'll go print your parts. Okay, but before you save it, do me a favor, call me over and let me just check that your settings are all right. Okay, and everything on here looks good. Okay. So, and when everything looks good, you've got the okay, go ahead and do the file. Save G code. Now this is impossible. This is important. Okay. Don't go to save model, save G code. Okay. Because that's what the machines will read. And once again, just to review, we'll go to public, RHS, PLTW, PLTW engineering, and we'll pick one of these folders, whatever period you're in, and then save it in 3D printer files. And I'll come and get your file and start printing it. Okay. All right. So hopefully this video helped. Hopefully you got all your parts on. If you didn't, like I said, come talk to me if you need help. I'm here to help and get your cubes 3D printed. All right. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps, and we'll see you next time.